Hello and welcome back to the Leinster Listen. I'm your host Mick Lennon and this is episode 52, the preview of Leinster versus the Fidelity Securedrive Lions in the URC quarter-final. The topics we'll discuss today are the URC game predictions, the details of our game, team lineups, and score and man of the match prediction. Alright folks, URC quarterfinals is upon us, and look, we need a win after a very gruelling defeat in the European Champions Cup against Bordeaux. I think we're all still feeling it. We're all in that remorseful state now. It kind of feels as if someone has died close to me, and I don't even know how to explain that because it's obviously not the case. But like, it's just it's a tough week to go and look at Tumafuna putting up all his videos with the Champions Cup like it's just anyway. Let's forget about it. That has gone. The week is over. New things upon us. Retaining silverware is what we're doing now. So anyway, without further ado, let's get into the actual quarterfinal fixtures and who I think is actually going to win them. So first and foremost, tomorrow we have Glasgow Warriors versus Connacht, and that is in Securedrive Stadium. And I do think I'm going to go with Connacht here just because we have to get behind the provinces. We have to make sure that we want to see all of them win there, get through. And I actually, what? They've named a very strong team. It's been, I think it's 10 years since they won the Pro 12. I think it's on the cards, lads, for them. I'd love to see Glasgow Warriors get bet at home as well by Connacht. I'm not salty from the last time, but I would love to see it. So I'm going to go with Connacht. Heart in my sleeve there for that. Next off, we have Bulls versus Munster. And I do think Bulls, as I said, we have support all the provinces, so Bulls be fantastic there. I'm joking. No, I do think Munster are unfortunately have picked up so many injuries. It's ridiculous. They're actually without Crowley as well, probably for the foreseeable. Even if they do get through this quarterfinal, they were without him for the rest of it. So it's going to be absolutely crazy if they can pull that out of the bag. I think them having to travel to South Africa as well, it's just probably asking too much of them. But look, all the best to them. I hope they do come on top of the Bulls. Knock out most of those South African teams would be actually quite funny. But no, I do think if you looked at it on the cards, you look at the lineups there, Bulls probably have the upper hand. But look, be shouting for Munster nonetheless. And then last but not least, obviously not including our game, but you have Stormers versus Cardiff. And look, again, any team that has to travel to South Africa, I just think most of those South African teams have the upper hand. Quarterfinals, obviously, knockout rugby, it's sporadic, it's wild. You've seen it the whole way through the Champions Cup and the Challenge Cup. Anything can happen in knockout rugby. So, yeah, maybe Cardiff have a chance there. To be honest, I just don't see them pulling it. I just have to say Stormers for that. They're a fantastic team. They're very strong currently. I did hear that they had two players there that collided heads, and they're having to check to see if those players are actually okay. I don't have the names of them currently. I just seen it on Instagram. But if you look it up, supposedly the coach there said it was a nightmare scene there on Wednesday for the training. But anyway, let's get into it. Details of our game. Kickoff is at 8 p.m, very late game, Saturday the 30th of May. Weather so far, from what I can see, it is light rain, and its temperatures around 19 degrees, so it'll be a warm, wet evening down the Aviva Stadium. Referee there is Sam Grove White. He's a Scottish referee, so no bias there at all, and I think we could do with a bit of that calm around the refereeing decisions there. I know, seen online there, a lot of people were blaming Carl Dixon the last time out. I didn't see it personally. If you listen to the review of that, I didn't blame him really at all. So look, hoping Sam Grove White has a good game. Hope he allows the game to flow. And I haven't seen many games with him refereeing, but what I have seen, it's nothing crazy comes out of him. Obviously, where you can watch it there in person is in the Aviva Stadium. Tickets are still available. Get on them. I do have my grievances with the pricing, but we won't get into that in the episode. But yeah, look, get in behind the team. Definitely, they're going to need it. I think it's going to be a very muted stadium there, unfortunately, given the result over in Bilbao recently. So if you can, if you're at Nottingham, it's a bank holiday weekend, which generally means it's going to be a lower crowd again. So look, I think we need folks to get down there. We need folks to get into their blue gear, get out, make some noise. It is a quarter final. We're still in the URC. We can still do this. If for some reason you can't get down there, it is on TG Car, which is a blessing. I love it. It's on domestic TV channels. That's what we want to see. And then it's also on Premier Sports 1. All right, folks, team lineups. Let's get into this Leinster lineup. In the back, see number 15, Hugo Keenan. Number 14, Jimmy O'Brien. Number 13, Raiko Ioane. Number 12, Jamie Osborne. Number 11, and making his 100th cap with this game. Fantastic for him, James Lowe, and hopefully he gets a try in this, because he'll actually he'll beat the record tries for Leinster in a career. It's 69 currently. He holds that. He's joined with that at the moment, and it'd be fantastic for him on his 100 cap to get another one and get over that and actually have that record himself. In the tent jersey there, you have Sam Prendergast, and our scrum half there is Luke McGrath. Moving over there to the forwards, number 1, Andrew Porter. Number 2, Dan Sheehan. Number 3, Tyg Furlong. 4, Big Joe McCarthy. Number 5, James Ryan. Number 6, Max Deegan. Number 7, Scott Penny. And number 8, our skipper, Caelan Doris. Onto the bench here, number 16, Gus McCarthy. Number 17, Alex Usnov. Number 18, Thomas Clarkson. Number 19, Dermot Mangan. Number 20, Josh van der Fleer. Number 21, James Gibson Park. 22, Harry Byrne. And last but not least, a good Westmead man there, number 23, Robbie Henshaw. Into the Lions line up there, and they have not announced their team sheet. They are scared. They have their tail between their legs at the moment. They haven't announced it. And we've actually, for the first time, announced it early, which is why I'm able to get this episode out for the Friday. So I welcome that from Leinster. Unfortunately, on the flip side, Lions haven't announced theirs. But let me give you some insight here, because the last time out they played Munster, and there has been a series of injuries since then. There has been some injuries since the Leinster one, and there's also that 18-month ban, which I'll talk about as well. So I suppose just going from the Munster match, who are now unavailable, and that's... I say that with an asterisk there, because I'll go through these. So actually their scrum half, Moore van den Berg, he's opted to go in for surgery on his injured bicep himself. So he's returned to Johannesburg, ruling him out of that match day. And that is a huge loss for them. He's a fantastic player. Also, an injury doubt here, not actually a full-on injury, but their captain, Frank Horn, their number 8. This is crazy. He was carrying a hamstring strain. He's due to undergo scans in Dublin, imagine, just to see if he can play. So that is absolutely crazy. He's actually their skipper as well. So it's going to be very strange not to see him on the pitch first off. But it's going to be alarm bells for them if he is not there to play. You also have number 13, Henko van Wyk. He's actually suffering an ankle injury. But as again, like Horn, he's actually scheduled for a scan in Dublin as well. So potentially he could be on that team. And then last but not least there, Richard Creel. And we all know Richard Creel. Fantastic player, fantastic centre. He actually failed a HIA assessment in the previous game against Munster. So he's like, that's a race against time really, to see if he can actually get in that for that game. And they're getting very, rightly so, they're getting very strict around the HIAs. And it obviously makes sense. You have to be very strict around those things. We can't be suffering players with HIAs. It's just not acceptable. So big doubts around them. But I suppose what we do want to hear, though, is the change since the last run out that we had in May 9th when we beat them 31-7. Now, the ones I have mentioned already, so Moran van den Berg, Frank Horn, Henko van Wyk, and Richard Creel, all 4 of them were actually playing when we last saw them in May 9th. But there is also 2 more players, which is crazy. One of them I'm going to have to talk about. Number 3 for them, Asanathi Nilata Bakan Nilat Sugar and Intla Bakanye. I am very sorry, Asanathi. I will look this up after. But actually, no, maybe I won't say sorry, because he has been handed an 18-month ban for banned substance abuse. So he is out of rugby. Never mind this game. He's out of rugby until after the next World Cup. That is absolutely crazy. I can't believe it. I remember seeing it coming out. It was only like a week after. I remember seeing the article come out, and I was like, oh, Jesus. And he played so good. So that's... maybe that's why. But, yeah, allegedly, this is all that happened. So he is gone. Gone. But on top of that, if you remember, Ruin Venter, their number 7, He actually left with a knee injury, and he has returned fully to Johannesburg, so he's unlikely to play in the game against us, but he's also unlikely to play at all this season, even if they do come and beat us. So you're looking at 6 changes to their team, 6 massive players, mind you, who obviously 2 of them are potentially might play given their scans in Dublin if they go well, but that is huge. That is not what you want to see going into a quarter final coming from the Lions there. They're under pressure first off because they're travelling over to Dublin for the match, but now they have to deal with 6 potential of their best players not being fielded at all. So crazy time. Obviously don't have a team sheet yet. They don't have a team sheet because they're probably waiting for those 2 men to see if they can actually play at all. And that's, it's unfortunate for them. They're probably panicking. Going over the bench splits there, a fairly obvious one for the Lions. They haven't confirmed it, so we don't know. But Leinster here obviously opting for the 5-3 split. So we're going hell for leather. We're relying on our backs obviously here. The likes of James Lowe being on the wing. Raiko Wane for some reason is gone centre again, even though we've probably proven that his natural position there is the wing. But I guess for James Lowe, they do want to give him that 100 cap just in case we end up losing that quarterfinal. So that is fair enough for him. Also, you have Jimmy O'Brien, who is swapping to the wing from that previous game. So he's over the other wing, obviously, because James Lowe has a preferential wing there. Who to watch, I suppose? Yeah, look, obviously you have to talk about him. James Lowe making his monumental 100 appearance there. As I said, he is looking to break Shane Horgan's all-time try scoring record, which he shares at the moment, which is tied at 69 tries. So I would feel very sad for Shane Horgan because he's had that for so long, but I would feel absolutely fantastic for James Lowe to get that, especially considering all of the mystery around his contract currently, which is just crazy. I just don't understand it. There was a rumour spinning there that he's going to Ulster. There was another rumour that he might go to Northampton Saints. I just think it's wild. I would rather look, if we had too many good wings coming after, I'd rather shift him into centre. I think he would be a fantastic fit there. Now, next player up here, I'm gonna have to give him a shout out. I think it's Sam Prendergast. Look, he's offered a massive opportunity here. It's a surprise start, honestly. I do not understand why Kieran Frawley isn't on that team sheet. I don't know why he's not even as a backup 10. I don't know why he's not starting at 10. But Sam Prendergast has been given this opportunity to redeem himself in a very high stakes knockout match in the URC. So I do think he's going to step up. I really do hope he isn't left stranded on his own again for any of those last man tackles. We've seen it against Lions last day out. He just did not perform well in that. But I do think the stress is going to have to make a diamond out of him. The pressure, obviously, that analogy is completely goosed there by me. But look, I do think he is going to step up to the mark. He's seen that Harry Byrne got taken off in the 42nd minute, swapped out to Kieran Frawley. He's seen that Kieran Frawley isn't even on the bench there. We have to assume Sam is able to step up for this, so I'm looking out for him here. And then last but not least, you have to give the man I mentioned. It could potentially be his last game for us before he moves off. But Luke McGrath, fantastic that he's starting off there as scrum half. I think he's fantastic. Look, he's brilliant. He's going to be the injection of pace that Prendergast is going to need beside him. He has obviously fantastic tactical experience. He's a very strong carrier as well. So Luke McGrath is going to have to support Sam. I think he might do it. The last two of them were are actually out against the Lions on May 9th. So at the very least, they know the game style from that game. Probably a strategic one there, considering we did a 31-7 defeat to them. Moving over there to the Lions, Chris Smith, if he's playing, fantastic. Is very good. Fly half, 154 points I think he had so far. And, he's going to punish us discipline-wise. You also have Frank Horn, if he's fit to play. If he is fit to play, he's going to be their main man. He's a huge loss, if not, as I said before. But he is a very hard carrying number 8 who will test us and did test us the last day out. It was one of the men that I mentioned in this section the last time, and he actually scored a try. So, look, he is fantastic. We're going to have to watch him if he's there. Even if he's there, he might be nursing that injury. He might be a bit afraid to get a hit again. But look, those two I think are probably the standout ones. The rest of them are pretty much gone. The ones I would have actually said are in that 6 that are just missing. So it's going to be a crazy one. I can't wait for the team sheet probably coming out tomorrow. Yeah, who knows? They might even wait until Saturday morning, given the situation. But look, I think it's going to be crazy. Going over some previous games there, obviously, as I said, May 9th, we played them. Not so much a dominant first half. was probably touch and go at that point, but then absolutely walloped them in the second half, and we obviously won 31-7. So that was just a regular season clash. It wasn't intense. We had a huge shift in our team at that point, and actually I think we have a much stronger team coming out against them on Saturday, so it's going to be a bit crazy there. Leinster have obviously won 4 of the 5 historical URC meetings against the Lions. That's always standing with us. But not only that, right, we actually have a perfect 5 to none record at home for the URC quarterfinals. So that is a good stat to have. Like all things, again, as I said, it's knockout rugby. No one knows. We could probably go out there seeing that they've had a huge shift to their team sheet and assume that we're going to trounce them. I really do hope we don't do that. That has not worked for us in the past, and it has really left us blind for a lot of these things. Going into my prediction there, look, as I said, we have probably had quite a large change from the last time we played the Lions. We've actually 8 changes to the start and 15. We're actually only retaining 6 in the original position, and obviously Jimmy O'Brien there swapping wing. So who we actually have from the last time out is you have obviously James Ryan staying at number 5 there. You've Max Deegan at number 6. He played there last day. You've Luke McGrath and Sam Prendergast there 9 and 10 respectively. Then you also have Jamie Osborne, who was number 12, and Raiko Wane, who was number 13. Now, Raiko did score a try, but I will say he was floating out to the wing at that point. So it wasn't really as you'd call it, a centre try. He was pretty much fully out on that wing. So maybe that's the game plan again. Have him as an extra winger, potentially. I'd probably, if that was a game plan, I'd stand by it. And then the last person we have there is obviously a bench position, so number 19, Diarmuid Mangan. He's retained his position as well. But look, the new team we've put out there is obviously very strong. I don't think we're recycling too much. Obviously from the Bordeaux game, we probably are. We're obviously missing Tommy O'Brien there. Definitely would want him. Kieran Frawley, I don't understand why he's not on this team. He must have done something. He wasn't mentioned on the injury list. It dumbfounds me. I can't believe it. But I won't sit in that too much. Again, look, at our last game out, do I have to talk about it? Probably do. Yeah, right. It was Bordeaux Champions Cup final. We're still paining from that. The players are obviously still paining from that. It's going to affect our morale. It's going to affect our gameplay. I don't know if, a lot of people say that it's kind of like a catapult situation where you're pulled back so much and you have to spring forward. I'm not entirely sure that's the case. I think they'll be very tired from that. It was a lot of heat at that time as well. But I do think we have it in us. I think, quarterfinal there, I think we need to get into the final at the very least, and we need to win it at the very least as well. So we need to retain that silverware, and I think we can do it against the Lions. They're really suffering at the moment. The bookies have us at 1-12 on outright, so that is a bit crazy. The Lions are actually given a plus 22 points handicap just to go evens. So bit crazy. To be honest, that odds is just mental. But I will actually go kind of with that. So my score prediction there is going to be Leinster 34, Lions 14. I do think they're going to get 2 on us. I think if they end up having to change those 6 players, I think it's going to be a new game plan for them. They might even shift up their entire set piece. Their attack play might change as well. So I don't think we can rely on them playing the exact same as they did the last day out. Man of the match there, I'm actually going to give it to James Lowe. I think he's going to get 2 tries. He's going to smash the record, and he's going to be absolutely elated on his 100 cap, and I hope he does get it. Right, folks, obviously there's no women's rugby matches this weekend. However, the women's Interpros fixtures have been announced, and they are going to be fantastic. So in round 1 on Saturday, the 8th of August, we have Munster versus Leinster and Ulster versus Connacht. Round 2 in the following week, we have Saturday, 15th of August, Leinster versus Connacht. That will probably be in Donnybrook Stadium. Naturally enough, probably will be there, and I would commend everyone to head out to that. They're always a fantastic day out. And also then we have Munster versus Ulster on that same day. The following week then, round 3, we have Connacht versus Connacht versus Munster, and Ulster versus Leinster. And then the finals day is the following week after that on the Saturday, and that is to be played in the Dexcon Stadium in Galway. Alright folks, that is her. As always, please do follow us on social media. I've been trying actually to make a good few more reels there, and I think they're working. think they're working. Let me know if they're not. Let me know if they're a bit of crack. Oh, Jesus Christ. If you're still here, I have to talk about something just because I just remembered that I made the reel about it. Did anyone else see that we might get Jordy Barrett back? That like he was on a podcast and he said he'll have to look at that. When they lost the final, he was asked a question about how did they do it, and he kind of let it slip that he might be returning. So I can't believe it. I'm making a couple of reels about that and talking about it online. So that would be crazy. Sorry, Matt, for derailing my outro there. My God. Anyway, hope to see you at the game on Saturday. Get behind the folks. It's going to be a very muted crowd with the bank holiday weekend, and also a lot of people in their grieving state currently. So please do get down there. Get your blue gear out. Bring some drums if you have to. Jesus, just do anything to get in there and make some noise. But as always, folks, thanks for listening.